Would an endorsement from RFK Jr. be a good thing for Trump? Let us know what you think in the comments.
Former President Trump is talking about something on CNN specifically related to Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I'd like to ask both of you to stand by for a second. We just cut the clip. We just turned it around. I want to play it here.
Have you considered him for a role in the administration, and what role would that be?
Well, we haven't, but I would love that endorsement because I've always liked him.
Would you also consider putting him in the administration?
You're asking me a very unusual question. I haven't been asked that question yet. I like him a lot. I respect him a lot. I probably would if something like that would happen.
Explain, Alex Seitzwald, who's joining us now here on set, why this is even coming up as a possibility. RFK Jr.'s running mate basically floated this today and said, and I'm paraphrasing here, if the goods are good enough, right, if there's a deal that's good enough, RFK Jr. might consider dropping out and backing Mr. Trump.
Yeah, these are some truly remarkable comments from Nicole Shanahan on this podcast, where she basically acknowledged that they have no real path to victory at this point. She spoke in past tense about the campaign, said they do not want to help Kamala Harris get elected in any way, and they would work with Donald Trump, which is, of course, what Democrats have been accusing Kennedy of doing this entire time, and they've adamantly denied. But now that the campaign is kind of coming to the end of the road, they're looking at some kind of offer. And I spoke to some Kennedy supporters this afternoon about those comments, and one that really stood out to me was this guy, Kyle Kemper, who's been driving across the country in a bus that he made himself with Kennedy's face on the side, and he was furious at the idea of Kennedy working with Trump. He said it would be a deal with the devil. He shouldn't be trusted, and that it would betray the whole ethos of the campaign, which is about independence and breaking the two-party system.
Garrett, we heard former President Trump in that interview suggest that he would love RFK Jr.'s endorsement. Probably more newsy if he said he didn't want the endorsement. Of course he would, right?
I think, Hallie, but I've been playing this out in my head all day today, and I actually think I could make the argument that Kennedy's more useful in the race to Donald Trump as a third-party candidate, as a vote sink for people who don't like Kamala Harris and don't particularly like him than he is as just another endorser. As Alex was just pointing out, I'm not convinced that Kennedy's endorsement brings all that many of Kennedy's voters to Trump. The idea that he can be out there for people who, the double haters in the previous consideration of this race when Joe Biden was still in it, but I think it still exists. People who just burned out on the two-party system. If that lowers Kamala Harris's vote totals in any number of places by some significant measure, isn't that more useful than another endorsement from someone who can be used against you just as well as he can be used for you?
Garrett Haake, thank you very much. Alex, on this whole issue, it came up because of somebody we haven't seen a ton of on the campaign trail, and that's Nicole Shanahan, RFK Jr.'s running mate.
Yeah, she has been basically absent since she was announced, and very few events. I mean, the whole campaign has gone kind of dark in a while. And I think this podcast interview was an explanation of why we have not seen a lot about her, because she said a lot of things that I don't think the campaign would have liked her to divulge. And basically saying the campaign is over, she said the Democrats made us a spoiler. Clearly very, very upset, very resentful of the Democratic Party, which she was a member of for years, said her biggest regret in life was supporting Chuck Schumer and giving him money to help the Democratic Senate turn. So she is out for revenge. She talked about maybe running for governor of California and floated this deal with Trump, which has been kind of, on the margins for a while. But it's clear that she's done with Democratic Party. I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is pretty much done with the Democratic Party. So they might be like a Tulsi Gabbard kind of figure and have gone full to the right in Trump's camp.
What do the numbers show? And is he even on enough ballots in enough states to make a difference here?
He is on enough ballots theoretically to make a difference. And that was her word when, can you win? She said, theoretically we could win. But, the polls show that he's still pulling about 5 to 10%, depending on the polls. And some of those voters would definitely go to Donald Trump. I spoke to some of them today. I even spoke to a lifelong Democrat who said that she would consider voting for Donald Trump, which is something that she would never consider if Kennedy asked her to. But then I also talked to a lot of his other voters, like Garrett was saying, who said they will never vote for a major party candidate at all. And it's not clear to me that even if Kennedy asked them to, that they would do it.
Alex Seitzwald, good to have you on this, a topic that has made getting a lot of buzz today, given some of those new remarks. Appreciate it, friend. Good to see you.
Hit that subscribe button for more breaking news during the 2024 presidential race.